Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and in this video here, we're going to be doing something a little different, where it's going to be a little bit of an unboxing and kind of talking about this here. But I have a couple of games that I'm going to be showing you all, and they are games that I've gotten from AliExpress, but they are legitimate games. To get into this real quick here, I've been shopping from AliExpress for several years. Now, primarily, I use them to sometimes I'll get like some clothing from there, but also I get a lot of modding parts and supplies, whether they are big or small devices, parts, whatever it might be. I've liked buying from AliExpress because you are going to have to wait a little bit of time. However, the nice thing is you are going to get things a lot cheaper because typically you're going to be purchasing directly from China. But you do have to wait for the importing, customs, all that other fun stuff, or I guess not fun stuff. Now, the other thing that kind of scares people off from AliExpress is not just the idea of buying from an import place or buying from someone that might not take PayPal. And for that, I will say, at least from my experience here, Alipay has been fine. Nothing has been compromised on that in there, thankfully. Really, I've had worse luck using my credit card at, I don't know, a local store or a gas station or a pizza place. That's been more dangerous than buying off of AliExpress. So I haven't had any issues with that in the last few years. But the other thing that does freak out people is in terms of the quality, in terms of what they might be buying. And I try to tell people that it's really like Amazon or eBay or any other place. If you end up getting a product and it's not as designed, it's faulty, it's broken, you can always open up a case and typically you can get a refund on that. And out of all the years and all the orders that I've done through AliExpress, I can count on one hand the amount of times when I've had to do something like that. When I get something and either it's faulty, it doesn't work, or maybe it was broken in transit. But it's pretty rare when that happens. However, this is just something that you kind of have to deal with when you're just buying things online. But one big thing I tell people is use common sense when you are purchasing things off AliExpress, because much like any other marketplace like this, there are going to be clone, bootleg, reproduction goods on there. So, for example, if you're going on there and you're buying, I don't know, like a mod chip for the original Xbox, you should probably be okay. However, if you're going to be going on there and you're buying a Pokemon cartridge for the original Game Boy, but you get it and you expect it to be legitimate, but it's a bootleg one, well, you kind of got to exercise some common sense. You're buying a cartridge directly from AliExpress from a seller on there, and it was what, $5, $7, $10. It's not going to be a legitimate Game Boy game, especially if it's brand new. So that's just when you need to exercise that. So come now to present day, present time, like we're watching Lane. A great anime if you have not seen it, but I got a couple of games right here. There are a couple of games for the Switch, and I can assure you, neither of these are the MIG Switch or any of those flash cards here. I haven't opened these up. These ones are sealed right here. So we're going to go ahead and crack the seal and see what we got on this. And don't worry, I'll have more detail on this as I'm showing them, but got this here. I'm never a fan of the tape that they use on this. Okay, got that. And is this one taped? Yeah, that one's taped as well too. All right, at least they got all the sides. All right, opening it up. Here is our first game. At least they packaged it nicely. All right, cool. Here we go. First one is a Switch game right here, which is Pikmin 1+2 HD, a game that I've been wanting to add to the collection that I now have here. But as you can see, it is a imported copy of the game. However, this is one of those games I didn't mind buying an import copy of because, well, here's another thing. I am a collector. I do like to collect games, but sometimes I also like to get deals on them as well, too. And there's many times, as long as the game is playable for me, and playable as in it works and it's in English, if I can get an import copy of a game, but it's still playable for me and I can get it cheaper, typically I'm going to get that import. And just looking at this here, I'm looking at like the URLs on the back and such. It looks like this is a Hong Kong edition of this. So this would not be the version that you're going to get in the United States or even Canada, for example, since the Canadian one would have to have French on it as well too. No, this is a Hong Kong import right here. So that's the first one. Let's go ahead and crack open the second one. The exact same thing here. We have to slice that, and then we're going to have to slice this guy here. At least the games are packaged well. And here we go. This is the other game that I was looking for. Also been wanting to pick this one up, so I was able to pick it up. Super Mario RPG. I have played a little bit of this already, and it was really good from what I played, just like the Super Nintendo version, so I definitely wanted to pick this one up here. This one, just looking right off the bat, I'm not sure which this one actually... Okay, I'm looking at the codes on the back here. I'm looking also at the rating. This looks like this is a Japanese copy of the game, but again, one of those times where, from what I researched on it, these two games, once you pop them in, and I believe even once you update them as well too, they will be playable in English, which is why I was okay with getting these import copies, because as long as they work and as long as they're playable in English, we're all good here. Now, I did want to break down kind of like the cost and why I was picking these up off AliExpress. These prices I'm putting out are all going to be before tax, because tax is going to be different for different places. However, I will say that I did get free shipping on these, so I did end up paying the subtotal and the tax on top of it, but shipping was free on the both of them, so I didn't really have to worry about that. But if we're focusing on Pikmin 1+2 HD, if you go to a shop here, and I do have some photos I'm going to put up, when I went to a Target, if I wanted to pick this up here locally, it was going to be $49.99 US. Then I ended up looking on eBay, and I was looking to see what was available, and if I was wanting to get a US copy of this, I would have had to pay about $50, $55. But if I want to go cheaper and get an import copy of it, the cheapest I was seeing, at least when I was looking this up, was going to be about $42 US for a Japanese copy. This here again is a Hong Kong copy, and I end up getting this one from AliExpress because, like I said, I'm okay with AliExpress. I trust it. And the subtotal on this one here was $23.81. So this was less than half the price of what I would have gotten it locally. And even if I went with a cheaper imported copy on a place like eBay, still a really hefty discount on here, which again, this is why I picked it up. Now this game here is Super Mario RPG. This is a game I also have been wanting for a bit. I looked into, and the full retail price for this right now, another example, when I had gone to Target, I looked for it, was $59.99 USD. That was going to be the subtotal of it before shipping. Well, would have been shipping here, but before tax, of course. Now, this one, I also went to eBay. I was looking into this as well, too. And the cheapest version that I was finding for a brand new copy of this was a Japanese import. So the exact same version as this one right here for $32.44. So almost half off if I went with eBay on here. However, I did not go with eBay. I ended up going with AliExpress, and the seller I got this from, I was able to get it for $27.36. So less than half the price, again, of getting it locally. And then, of course, I had to pay tax on that, but you're going to have to pay tax on it either way. And again, these are brand new sealed games right here. Another game that I don't have pictured here because I did not pick it up was going to be Detective Pikachu Returns. I was thinking of getting this one, and I almost pulled the trigger on it, but I decided not to. This was, again, another game I was interested in. $49.99 US if I wanted to get it in store. Now, I'm actually going to flip the prices on here because the cheapest that I was seeing when I looked into it on AliExpress was $20.40, which is a really big discount. So you all might be wondering, why didn't I pick it up there? Well, because I looked on eBay and they were selling a Japanese imported copy brand new for $18.99. So that was one of the games where I said, you know, this is actually not going to be worth getting on AliExpress. I mean, yeah, there is just going to be a little bit of price difference, but if we're going to be counting dollars and pennies here, it will technically be cheaper on eBay, so that's where I'd be getting it. So there's going to be two other questions I will address on here. One of these will be if these actually work here, which I'm going to check. And again, I know some people might be wondering, you know, what language these are in, and I will say that is going to depend entirely on which release and which game you are getting. These games here, from what I looked up, they are going to work in English. There are some games from what I saw, they don't have English initially, but when you update them, they can have English on there. So really, you might want to just do a few Google searches, do some research, but also more importantly, if you're going to be buying from these listings, I would recommend looking at the specifications, but also looking at the reviews to see what people have been saying. Here we go. Actually, the inside looks pretty nice, and you never get things in games as well, too. This is really cool. So they are advertising some other Switch games right here. Looks like they're also advertising Mario Kart 8, Kirby and the Forgotten World, I believe that's what it's called, and then Mario Party Superstars. So really awesome to see. Then we have the cartridge right here, which I'm not going to taste this, so I'm going to assume it still tastes bad, but this is a legitimate cartridge from what I'm seeing here. No issue on this. I did bring a Switch over, so it is connected online. We're going to pop this in. Check it out. Well, you can check it out. I can't. Oh, there's Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2. Awesome. Let me go ahead and run the update on them as well, too. All right, so there's an update on here. This is typically what I do whenever I get a new game. I just go in and update it and make sure it's all good to go and update it. Okay, so checking. There we go. While that's updating, let's go ahead and open up this other one right here. And some people might also be wondering, well, you talked at the beginning of this video about fake games, like, for example, a fake Pokemon game, which that actually would have been fitting if I end up getting, like, a Pokemon game for the Switch, but I decided not to on here. So some people might understandably be asking, okay, well, since AliExpress is going to have releases like this, could these be fake games? And to that, I will say no. In this instance, they are not. One, because I can tell these ones are going to be legitimate here. And number two, to my understanding, there hasn't been reproduction or unauthorized or bootleg cartridges of the Switch, much like there has been with this Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, Game Boy Advance, other consoles like that. So if you're going to be getting a cartridge, it's at least at this point in time, while I'm recording this, while it's releasing, that technology hasn't been cloned. The closest I can think of is because of the MIG switch. There is a possibility that, sure, you could get a game like this, and it is just a MIG switch with a micro SD card in there that has the game ROM on it. However, for these games, I can also, again, confidently say that is not the case because these are not valuable enough to do that. From what I understand, the MIG switch retails for about $55, $60. I've seen reports, at least, that you can get it wholesale. Like if you're a reseller, you can buy it for $30 per MIG switch. But each of these games, as I told you, were under $30. It would really only make sense if I was buying a game from AliExpress that was like a $500, $400, $300 game. And then they could, maybe just clone it with the MIG switch. But for these cheaper games like this, does not make sense to do that because you're sending out a device that is more expensive than the actual retail game itself. Opening this up here, though, the internal art does look nice. We have another little ad right here for some Switch games, and this one is heftier. All right, take a look at that. This is really cool. Like, I haven't imported in a while, and it's really cool seeing this here because, again, you typically buy games that they don't come with anything. So I like this. That's nice. Anyways, the cartridge is right here. Nothing is sticking out to me. Everything seems to look good on it. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. So our Pikmin has updated. I'm going to pull that out. We'll go ahead and pop this one in here. This one have not installed yet, but let's see. There we go. It is working. Super Mario RPG. I could do the exact same thing. I know this one has an update for sure because the 1.0 update on here does have a game-breaking bug. So you're going to want to definitely patch that. Either way, it is patching. It seems to be working. Wonderful. And there we go. It has patched. So because of that, I am going to fire this up here. Make sure it works. Before I fire this up, I'm actually doing a save backup. I'm playing on another system right now, and I did try it at one point. This was several months ago, but I don't actually have this game until now. So let's go ahead, fire this game up, just to show you all that it works. It is booting. That's good. That's cool. And then I just really want to get in game to show you all that, it says loading right there, but to show you all that it is in English, despite it being a Japanese import that I end up getting from China. Funny how that works here. Either way, we have that. Oh, and this is actually pretty cool. So not all games are going to be like this, but this is also an example I can show you all that even though this is a Japanese cartridge right here, I was playing a United States, American version of the game. My save is right there. It is compatible. So I didn't get too far into this here, but loading this up. There we go. All right. I mean, so far it seems to be working. This is in English. It is perfectly playable there. And again, my save was working on here, so that's going to depend on the software version. Usually it seems to be pretty ubiquitous, but your mileage may vary on there. Just wanted to give you all a heads up. Either way, I am going to close out of there. And for our last test, let's go ahead and try and run Pikmin. So fire this up. Now let's go ahead and fire up the first one. Why not? Cool. It's loading. All that. Oh, that was quick. I haven't played 1+2 HD, so that was really quick. That was a surprise to me. All right. Last time I played this was not even on the Wii. It was on the GameCube. This is very GameCube looking right here. Wow. I just went to the options. There's only sound and high score. That's all you get. Let's go ahead and go to start. And I just want to see this here. All right, cool. We got that save. New ship's log. I'm having no issue playing this so far. So again, this one seems to be working fine. Although, can we move? Okay, there we go. It's loading more. There's more stuff happening. The impact side. There we go. Impact side. All right. I'm kind of just cutting a little bit of this ahead because, again, I just want to show that we have English on this. That's all I'm trying to do. And that's funny. Shout out to one of my friends who signed online as this was going on. Pikmin 4. He's playing Pikmin 4. I'm playing Pikmin 1. I wonder if he did that on purpose. Oh, and here we go. Check that out. It's looking good. Awesome. Perfectly playable. So no issue on this one either. So there we go. Wrapping this video up, I kind of wanted to do this as a little bit of a, hey, I didn't know about this and maybe you all can learn about it type thing. Maybe a little bit of a public service announcement. I'm not sure. But all in all, if you're looking for some legitimate games, your mileage may vary. But if you're looking for some cheap, legitimate Switch games, AliExpress might be a good route to go. Again, as I said though, your mileage may vary. I definitely recommend looking at prices between other places, because just because it's really cheap on AliExpress doesn't mean that AliExpress is going to be the cheapest. And on top of that, it's also going to be personal preference. You do have to realize that, you know, your spine is going to look different in your collection. You know, case is going to look different as well too. Some people are really particular to that. I'm more the type of collector, as long as it is working, playable, and physically I can own it, I don't really mind it all too much. I actually think it's a little cool having these covers in my collection. So there's that. The last thing I can really think of is some people do like to collect their My Nintendo Rewards points for these ones here. If you've imported games before, or you just got games really late, you're probably going to know this. But if you're running this on an American account, for example, you're not going to be able to redeem points or coins for these ones here. But I also don't see that as that big of an issue, because you're not really saving the coins here. You're saving real cold hard cash. And again, I was able to get both of these for less than half the price of what they're retailing for, which I think is a pretty great deal. Either way, that's about it for this video here. This is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, a like would absolutely be appreciated. If you didn't like it, because maybe you don't like physical, import media like this, a dislike is fine as well too. But let me know what you thought of this as well too. Like, let me know if this was something that you knew of, because like I said, for any type of repros, clones, counterfeit cartridges, I already knew about that on AliExpress, but to find really affordable, really cheap variants of Switch games, like legitimate ones on there, I was pretty surprised. And hopefully there's some verification for you all as well too. Anyways, that's about it for this video. This is Mr. Mario signing off for real this time. Later, everyone.
I get so, yo, my glass house, glass house, the blood feels not what I